Good morning, fellow traders. Black Coffee Trader here on a Wednesday morning. Happy Hump Day, Wednesday, February the 25th. And are we finally maybe getting a chance to break through this channel high on NQ? We've got a very clear 3-day low, all converging right here around the 24,700s. And we have a multiple day high, about a week and a half long high, really. Converging right here around the 25 150s, 130s, and we are just flirting with breaking that. We do also have the daily 20 getting really close to price here. So if we can break this today, this is probably one of my top watches. Do we get along up into this quadruple top high we had from back in early February? So we have been in this ugly channel for quite some time, and finally, maybe we're getting a break. This could also just simply result in another smackdown and we go right back into the range. That option does exist as well, so we need to stay open to that. But obviously, if you're following what I am doing and how I'm trading, I'm definitely looking for a break of this channel, and it looks this morning like maybe there's a potential for that to happen. We don't have anything major on the news today. The big thing is we have NVIDIA earnings at 4 p.m. Today. So be on the lookout for that in the after hours, 4 p.m. NVIDIA earnings call. That is likely going to move the market one direction or another. I've kind of felt like maybe we've been in a sideways channel until that comes out. NVIDIA is such a big player, especially on the NASDAQ. But we shall see. We shall see. But I do like this. In the overnight session, we've kind of bled higher. We are struggling a little bit with this level right now. It's 7:30 in the morning. As you can see right here on the 1-minute chart, we are struggling to break through, maybe looking like we might get a little bit of a pullback. In the early morning, we've really had some just consolidation around yesterday's high, so not really much of a convincing move. Hopefully it works, or it waits until the market opens up and we can get that opening volatility and maybe get a nice move. But we shall see. Maybe this thing goes without us. If it does, kind of have to wait for a pullback. Kind of have to wait for a pullback and a bounce off this level, or be wary of maybe a smackdown off of this if we get a big run this morning. So we'll see, but I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic to the upside. It looks like that's definitely a possibility. If we do get a smackdown here and we go back into the range, obviously no bueno, not interested in trading that. But if we break below this triple last 3-day low, definitely looking for downside. We do have the daily 200 sitting right below price, so ideally you would break that and get down below the 24,600s. If you break below that, that's where you really see the downside coming in. And a move like this could happen. Even though this morning it looks like we're breaking out, maybe this thing's finally going, we could just see a big reversal at open and this thing just tanks right back down into the range. We've seen it quite a bit. I mean, you see an up move here. You see consolidation on this day. We had a big rip up in the morning. That day we had a big move to the downside on that was Monday. Yesterday we had a big move to the upside. So this range is really fraught with big moves either direction. And so the fact that we're here, this is anybody's guess. I think there's a 50-50 whether we do the breakout above or we go right back down into the range. So we'll see, but I'm optimistic on maybe we have some upside today. ES, very similar picture, very, very similar picture. There's one discrepancy that I noticed on my charts from ES to NQ, and it might be minor. It might not be a major thing, but let's look at the big picture first. We've got this triple top high, and really this range high that we've been looking for. We're definitely trying to get out of this range. It's not quite as, we've had some more movements kind of out of the range to the downside on ES more than NQ. NQ has been just really a tight channel. But here's the discrepancy that I noticed. My channel, my level, not really a level, but it's more of a range. A level is when you have like the daily 20. This is a level. It's obviously a moving level every single day, or the daily low, that's a level. The daily high, that's a level. But this is a range. When price is we could see reactions anywhere from here to here, which is why I mark it this way. Here I'm looking for reactions in this range. I don't really have a specific level set. It's more of a range. But the thing I'm looking at is this is that Wednesday low, the low of my range here. is the highs that we had from Monday, and we have the lows from Wednesday, February the 11th. We have that low. The high of my range is this double top high that we have, highs coming in from Friday and Wednesday of last week. This is my range. So bear in mind this Wednesday low from the 8th, these highs. Now look at ES. This may not be a big deal, but on ES, the high of, or the low of my range is this high coming from Tuesday of last week. My high is this Wednesday low from the 8th, which also corresponds exactly with the Monday high. So a little bit of it is, it's not like this Wednesday low from the 8th is at the low point of our range on NQ and ES. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it a little bit, but I just noticed that. It just seems like on ES, if we can break this triple top and break this Wednesday low, I think we have a lot of upside potential. I really do. We got the daily 20 below us. We've got the daily 100 below us. We've got the daily 50 right at price right now. So if we can break this, we're going to be above and away from these big daily moving averages. That bodes well for further upside, in my opinion. So if we do get a break here, definitely looking for upside, probably looking for that even more on ES. Because of the daily moving averages, I'm probably going to be watching ES more than NQ, even though the channel seems to be a little bit more clear on NQ. We've got a very defined channel here, whereas ES seems a little bit more sloppy, but either one of these, if we get a solid breakout, that's a long, and it just depends on which one we take, whether it's ES, whether it's NQ. To the downside, same thing applies. Not really looking to, if this thing rejects and we go right back into the range, I'm really want to wait until we break these lows. That's really what I'm looking for on either of NQ or ES. I mean, there could be, if you get a move back down and you get a break and retest of this range that we have here, this intraday high that we had on Monday night, around the 68, 72s. If you get a break somewhere there could be a little short, but I think the best one is to wait until you break the lows. Moving to the Dow Jones, somewhat of a different picture. You have a couple day lows sitting way down here below this kind of channel, and on the Dow Jones, we've had this channel going quite some time. I mean, this has been running all the way back into January. This has been a range-bound channel. We've kind of dipped below it. We've double bottomed here and pushed right back up in it. So it's not quite the same picture. If you see a rip on ESNQ, maybe we get a break and retest. Let me just zoom in here a little bit. We can see this better. Maybe you get a break and retest above this high from yesterday, PDH. Maybe you get a move up. You are longing into the daily 20. You're longing into this multi-session high right here. This is, I think, the area that needs to break on the Dow Jones for us to really get a move going. If we break this high from Monday, I'm really liking that long, not saying I wouldn't take this if we get a little, consolidation until market opens and we get something off the rip here. I think for me, because I trade all four of the indices, I'm looking for whichever one gives me the best setup. And if I see a directional move on ES and NQ telling us that, hey, this market's going higher, then we'll look at ES, NQ, the Dow Jones, or the Russell. And whichever one gives us the best setup is probably the one I'm going to take. That's what I'm looking for if this uptrending move develops today. On the Dow Jones, if we get a move back down, obviously if we break this low, that's the ideal short. That's the one I'm looking for. We do have the daily 50 sitting right below price, daily 20 right above price. And so that's something to be cautious of. But the upside looks like this is the break we want to see. To the downside, it still remains. Daily lows have been the downside look that we're looking for on these markets. Last but not least, on the Russell, similar to ES and NQ, we're kind of in this channel range. It's not quite as concise as what it is on NQ and ES, but again, if we do break and stay above the PDH from yesterday here, maybe we get a move up into this area. I would like to see this range break up here, these highs that we had from, this is Friday of last week and Wednesday of last week. If we can break those highs and several more of these highs coming in over the last couple of months, if we can break that, that creates a great long look up into these all-time highs on the Russell. So if we do get that, that's something to look for. And this is one of those trades where on the Russell or the Dow Jones, you oftentimes get a big move at the open, whether it's up or down. Usually you get a big move. And then sometimes you get a V right back into the range, and then we kind of go sideways, or we continue to bleed the opposite direction. If we get the big move and we just kind of consolidate, then we typically end up with a trending day, whether it's up or down. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a move up into this area, depending on what happens with ES and NQ. Maybe we get some consolidation and a bigger move. So what I'm saying is, there could be an opportunity. I mean, this is hypothetical, but there could be an opportunity for a break and retest in the morning off of ES or NQ, and we don't get that on the Russell or the Dow Jones because both of these are sitting quite a bit above the prior day high. However, if you get that move on ESNQ, we might get a later day or a mid-morning continuation move above this area on the Russell or above that same area or this area on the Dow Jones. If we can break this, you notice again, we're sitting above price, above that PDH quite a bit on the Dow Jones and the Russell here at 7:30 in the morning. So maybe the markets move and we get some consolidation and we get a continuation move that we can grab later in the day. So hope that makes sense. But again, just something I'm looking for. Obviously, I like to be done. I'm really trying to be a lot more careful and just try to be out of the markets by midday. It seems like the afternoon, it's really, if you don't catch something in the morning, the afternoon is full of a lot of, fakes and traps, and it's an account destroying time frame for me, especially. I want continuation. So, but that being said, maybe you get that move, you get consolidation, and you can get into another trade. So that's how, for me, maybe I get a trade in the morning off maybe ES or NQ. Maybe by mid-morning or late morning, I get a trade off of the Dow Jones or the Russell if something like this happens. So anyway, again, Russell downside, prior day lows, that's what we're looking for. If we can break that, we're definitely going to be looking for downside. So that's the plan for today. I like it. I'm optimistic that today might be better. The only caution I have is maybe we get some sideways movement because everything is kind of waiting for what happens with NVIDIA. That's the only caution I really have today. There's nothing on the news docket, so this market should be ready to go, and we should be able to get a move one way or the other. Hopefully it's to the upside. Right now that seems to be the best opportunity, but again, we have to wait and see if this range does break that we've been looking at on the major indices NQ and ES. Do we get that break this morning? And then does that give us some opportunities today? So there you go. That's the plan for today. Good luck. Hope you have a great day, a great green day, and we will catch up with you on the next one. Take care, and so long.